Columbus, Georgia. I was born on the south side of Columbus, Baker Village, and I moved to the west side of Columbus, which was the Elizabeth County Apartments, which I lived most of my life until I got incarcerated at the age of 16. I got some solutions. I've heard the council members speak, but we need to roll out a plan. And even though it has taken time for us to get to where we are now, we need like an ASAP rollout of a plan. We got murders, three people just got killed. And to be frank, I haven't seen no city council member on the streets saying anything. And when we talk about going into these communities, we haven't seen nobody in the community that represents these communities. And I'm not throwing shades, I'm just pointing some things out. It's going to take all of us collectively, correct, but we need feet on the ground. We need to support programs that has already been in Columbus. We're on the verge of giving Cure Violence $500,000. When have we ever heard of somebody giving a reputable program in Columbus that type of money to give a resolve to the community? We haven't. How are we going to back a program that's not from Columbus when we're not even willing to back a program that's in Columbus already effectively doing things? We make it hard for young people to have jobs. We talked about the ban the box. That's a policy. That's having a background and people not hiring you because of your background. That's a policy. It's not a law. That's a policy. That means that we can invoke these people to change these policies to hire people. And then you spoke about expungement. There's no expungement is gone. Now they have restricting background, where the GBI automatically takes your record after a certain time and they close it and restrict certain entities from being able to see your record, but certain governmental agencies can still see it. And then they're charging people for these processes when it can be free. The three factors that are making our community the way it is poor education, poor housing, and no jobs. If people are busy working and encouraged to work for themselves eventually, they will deviate from the problems that are committed in our community. And most of the problems are black on black crimes. We know that. And there's a reason for that. We have no diversity in the community, like Carver Park, shutting down the park. What is that going to accomplish? If doing what, like law enforcement, that's not the answer. We got law enforcement on the north side, right? We got law enforcement on the south side. But the presence of law enforcement still hasn't been enough to deter the crime. We need our leaders, the people who are responsible, who represent the voices of these communities. We need to see our leaders on the front line. No matter where you are, leaders are supposed to be at the front line of everything, leading by example, showing people the way. So if we have the community and they don't see what our leaders are doing, then what are they going to do? COVID didn't make it no better. We closed everybody in a box and told us to get along. So when I did 10 years in prison, when they put all of us in one dorm, they put the Crips and the Blood and the gangsters, they put them in one dorm, expecting them to go against themselves, but they kicked into survival mode and they became productive. Because we came to a point where we was going to say we're not going to die and kill ourselves because our survival is worth it. We need to get home to our families and our babies. That's the same approach we need to have out here. We need to implement a structured plan that's going to specifically say the things that we need to do to accomplish what we need to accomplish. We don't need to do it a year from now. We need to start with a ever-present, passionate effort today, right now. Because that number is going to keep going up. I just seen a young man with an AR-15 in his pants. Whole clip sticking out in a store. Right? And guess what? Police cars across the street. In a public restroom area that hasn't been open since it's been there. But when we have people in places And there's a misunderstanding that won't allow the community or the streets to trust the presence of the police. A young guy just got beat up in Warren Williams, I think. What's that, Warren Williams? Young teenager got beat up by the police? Anybody heard about that? But we had an issue in Warren Williams. Issues like that doesn't promote trust from the community. And like I said, the only way to gain trust within the community is for our leaders to show their faces. We need to get out there and show them that, hey, whatever it takes, we roll up our sleeves, we're coming out here with you, and we want to accomplish this. But our babies killing each other, it has to stop. And it has to stop by means of them seeing us take the first effort and promote the change that we need in our communities. They need to see the faces that represent them, and the faces that represent them need to come together and do things like promote positive energies, bring back recreational activities, instead of clam them all in one place. When I went to Elizabeth County, the basketball court looked the same way since before I went to prison.
I'm gonna do. I hate to stop you, but can I invite you to stick around and finish up with the 3 minutes we afford you after? My problem is if I allow you to continue, then I have other folks that get very upset if I don't. And I'm sorry because you're.
It's okay.
And I don't want you to leave because we want to bring you back up if you don't mind.
I gotta go to the cure violence thing. I got to get over it, but I mean, we can always take this up another time because this is an effort that has to be continuous.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for your time.
No, thank you. I appreciate your words very much. Thank you.
All right.
Councilor Tucker.
Mr. Jerome Lawson. We are working on a coordinated community response roundtable, and what you just asked about the structured response, or a program, and really tackle the issues with this community. It's called coordinated community response. Right now, the White House has a team. President Biden actually has addressed at the national level that violence, as the city manager said, throughout the United States is at a 30% increase. So the White House staff was down here on September 1st, and we had these conversations.